What in the world was that? Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Hot Videocast, and today we're going to be recapping last night's game between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets, as the Phillies were taken down by the Mets by a final score of 5-1. As Rhys Hoskins hit a solo home run last night. That was the only run driven in for the Phillies. Bryce Harper was ejected from the game as well. So before we get into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. Guys, very, very boring performance last night out of the Phillies. Probably one of the most boring games all year. Nothing exciting. The Hoskins home run occurred in the top of the first inning. Nothing exciting happened after that. Obviously, the Harper ejection was a little bit not exciting to watch because I don't like to see Bryce Harper get thrown out of the game, but it was definitely entertaining. I think entertaining is the word I could use. But what a lifeless performance. I understand it's only one game. You can't get upset about this because the Phillies have still played very, very good baseball. They've still played very, very good baseball, so you can't get too upset about this, but it is a disappointing game. I mean, they didn't play well at all. Spencer Howard was on the mound in this one, didn't do great. Andres Gimenez continues to hurt the Phillies. Dom Smith continues to hurt the Phillies as well. So, got a lot of players on the Mets who just really have the Phillies number. As I said, Andres Gimenez and Dom Smith. But obviously Harper was ejected, arguing a foul ball call. He had a ground ball down the first base line. Umpire called it foul. We'll get into that a little bit later. Let's start the scoring summary. Top of the first inning. Obviously, he also made a boneheaded decision in the outfield. We'll get into that with Neil Walker, but we'll get into that when the time comes. In the top of the first inning, let's start the scoring summary as Rhys Hoskins, the red-hot Hoskins, as I like to call him, hits his 8th home run of the season on a line drive to left center field. It was a bomb. It was off of Seth Lugo, his first hit against Seth Lugo, and it is now a 1-0 Phillies lead. Then in the bottom of the third inning, Andres Gimenez singles on a ground ball to right field, and Jeff McNeil scores, and then the ball game is tied at 1. As I said, Andres Gimenez continues to hurt the Phillies. Hurt us really, really bad in Philly, and then now we go to New York, and he just continues to rake off of our pitching, and it is tied at 1. Then in the same inning, Michael Conforto singles on a fly ball to left field. And Andres Gimenez scores, and it's now 2-1 Mets, as the Mets now take the lead. Obviously, it dropped in front of them, and oh my goodness gracious, now the Mets have the lead, and obviously they would have the lead the rest of the night. Then in the bottom of the fourth inning, Andres Gimenez hits a weak pop-up into shallow right field. Neil Walker has to backpedal to get it, and then he tries to throw home, but Todd Frazier was able to score. And the Mets now take a 3-run lead. Now, that is unacceptable. Bryce Harper, where was Bryce Harper? That is Bryce Harper's ball. And I can't really knock Walker, because how the heck am I going to expect Neil Walker to throw flat-footed? How in the world is that Neil Walker's fault? It's not Neil Walker's fault. What a poor performance by Bryce Harper. And he should have got that ball, man. I mean, that was Bryce Harper's ball. That was Bryce Harper's ball. And he just let Neil Walker handle it. Neil Walker had the back pedal, and he didn't make a strong throw, but, he was backpedaling. He didn't have enough time. He was flat-footed. So, all in all, very, very disappointing play by Bryce Harper. I'm not going to knock Neil Walker at all. Very, very disappointing. 3-1 Mets. Then, bottom of the fifth inning, Dominic Smith grounds into a force out, and Brandon Nimmo scores. And it is now a 4-1 Mets lead as they continue to pile it on. And then in the bottom of the sixth inning, Robinson Carrillos hits his second double of the year on a fly ball to right field. And deflected off of Roman Quinn, Andres Gimenez scores. And it is now a 5-1 Mets lead. And they go on to win by that score, 5-1, your final score. Obviously Harper was ejected in the middle of the fifth inning. We'll get to that later. Andrew McCutchen led off the ball game in this one. He got the DH, went 1 for 4, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Rhys Hoskins hit another home run last night, 1 for 5, run scored, 1 RBI, 3 strikeouts. And Bryce Harper obviously was ejected, as I said, in the middle of the fifth inning. He went 0 for 2 with a walk. Obviously flew out to left field his first at bat. Walked a second time, and then grounded out, deflected off the pitcher. and then he was thrown out. But obviously, rough night for Bryce. And then Roman Quinn came in to play center field. Phil Gosselin went 0 for 1 strikeout. He's really cooled off, man. Phil Gosselin has really cooled off. JT Realmuto, obviously, been struggling. Had a nice 2 for 4 night last night. 2 strikeouts. Obviously, JT does strike out quite a bit. Jay Bruce went 0 for 3 last night. Got the start in left field. Didi Gregorius did not start last night, but he did come in, and he went 0 for 1. Joe already given Didi the night off, and then Gene Segura had a nice 2 for 4 night, 1 strikeout. Alec Boehm over at third base went 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Alec Boehm, he's been pretty consistent since coming up, man. He's been pretty good. Neil Walker got the start at second base last night against his former team, the Mets. He went 0 for 4 last night with 2 strikeouts. Obviously had a pretty good night against the Nationals when Max Scherzer was on the mound. I remember he got that RBI single off of Max. But not so much last night against the Mets. Adam Hazley went 0 for 2 last night with 2 walks. And that's your ball game. A lot of guys were moving around last night. Walker went from second base to left field. Hazley played center field, right field, and then went back to center field. So Girardi was definitely moving around last night. Spencer Howard got the loss in this one. He's now 1-2 in the year. He pitched 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Not great, man. I mean, he hasn't been great since coming up. I'm not going to knock him because he's young. He's still trying to figure things out, but he just hasn't been great since coming up. He has a 5.66 ERA. It is what it is, man. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he's still young. He still has a lot to prove. So it's not the end of the world. I mean, it's not the end of the world. He's still a fantastic pitcher. So it's not the end of the world. Ranger Suarez, an inning, 2/3, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks. He struggled. His ERA is now 10.80. And then Hale came in, pitched 2 1/3 with 3 hits and 1 strikeout. I mean, he had a good performance last night. David Hale obviously got him from the Yankees. But he had a pretty good performance last night. He's the best guy out of our bullpen last night. Obviously better than Ranger Suarez. So 5-1 your final score. The Phillies lose the second game in New York, in Queens, against the Mets by a final score of 5-1. As I said, Rhys Hoskins solo home run. That's your only run of the ball game last night, guys. Very, very lifeless performance. I mean, obviously every team has an off night, but nothing really exciting happened last night. Very, very dry, very boring. Players didn't really have the head in the game. As I said, Bryce Harper, with that sacrifice fly, unacceptable. That is your job to go get that, and you can't leave that to Neil Walker. You cannot leave that to Neil Walker. Backpedal, had to throw flat-footed. I don't understand what happened there. I really, really don't. Now let's talk about the Bryce Harper ejection. So, in the top of the 5th inning, Bryce Harper hit a ground ball, as I said, down the first base line. The umpire called a foul. Harper threw his arms up in the air he was really, really pissed. He's like, oh my goodness gracious. He was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that ball was called foul. Doesn't say anything after that. He's running out to his position, obviously, since it was the first base umpire. Obviously, he's going to right field, so he's going to see the first base umpire. And he goes up to him, and this is what apparently he said. He's like, well, that ball was fair, don't you think? And the umpire wanted nothing to do with it. Obviously, I watched the interview. I watched SNY coverage of the ejection, and then I watched the Phillies coverage of the ejection. And they both had 2 different stories. We'll get into that a little bit later. But Harper said, that's fair, don't you think? The umpire wanted nothing to do with it and said, no, we're not talking about it. Do not mention it. And Harper said, be professional. And he said, stop treating me like a 5-year-old. That's what Harper's words were. Stop treating me like a 5-year-old. Be professional. And, he just kept saying that, and he wanted nothing to do with it. He kept telling him to stop, knock it off, and then eventually he got run. Obviously, he got ejected. And Harper was incensed. He threw something down. Neil Walker was trying to hold him back, and he got in his face a little bit, and then eventually Walker was pulling him by his shirt, and then eventually you saw Harper kind of push Walker away. Like, get off of me. It almost seemed like he said, like, get off of me. He pushed Neil Walker away. But Harper was not happy. He said that, many years, I've been ejected, and I've said not very pretty words on national television I'm not very proud of, but he said last night, I don't think I should have been ejected. He didn't like the way he was being treated by the umpire. Again, he kept saying, be professional, stop treating me like a 5-year-old. That's what Bryce Harper kept saying. So something obviously was said. Obviously, he did say that he kept saying, we're not going to talk about it. Stop. We know we're not talking about it. And that's kind of immature by the umpire. I can't really knock Bryce for this, but he has to stay in the game. He even said that. He said, I have to stay in the game. I have a duty to the Phillies. He said he hates getting ejected. Obviously, I can't see how anybody will want to be ejected from the game. But Harper was incensed last night. He was very, very upset, very, very frustrated. And you could see him trying to talk to Girardi a little bit. And then you had the SNY booth saying, well, he tried his hardest to get thrown out of the game. He really tried hard to get thrown out of the game. It's just like, shut up. Shut up. I do not want to hear it. They just love drama. Anything. This is why this is why I hate the Mets. They love the drama. They love to make fun of our players. Basically saying that he worked very hard to get thrown out of the game, and they had basically two sides. There was two different sides of the story. The Phillies were surprised that he was thrown out of the game, and McCarthy said that's the angriest he's ever seen Bryce Harper in a Phillies uniform. I disagree. The angriest I've seen Bryce Harper in a Phillies uniform, I think, was his first ejection in April of 2019 at Citi Field, coincidentally, against the Mets. When he remember that strike 3 call that he came out, he was really getting the umpire. That's the angriest I've seen him in a Phillies uniform. I can't remember any time other than I know he's been ejected 3 times in his tenure with the Phillies so far, and he has the highest ejection rate I think in baseball over the past multiple seasons. I saw that this morning, games per ejection. Harper leads it. Yeah, man. I mean, there were two different sides of the story last night. SNY, was not surprised that he got thrown out. They said he tried hard to get thrown out of the game. Very, very childish for the SNY people to say. And then you saw the Philly side, who was surprised that he was thrown out of the game. So, kind of a weird ejection. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. If you're an umpire, you have to learn to take some heat sometimes. I'm not saying that it's professional for someone to be screaming the F word in your face, but you have to learn to take some criticism. It's ridiculous, man. These umpires, some of them are so soft, and it's ridiculous. So, guys, that's your ball game. Obviously, Spencer Howard struggling in this one, as I said. Hale, came into relief a little bit. He had a nice, appearance. He had a nice outing out of the pen. Nice appearance, I should say. Hoskins with the solo home run. JT going 2 for 4. Siggy going 2 for 4. Obviously, the Harper ejection. So, guys, that's your, pretty much your recap of last night. Seth Lugo got the win. He is now 2-2 with a 2.05 ERA. Spencer Howard got the loss. He's now 1-2 with a 5.66 ERA. And Harper said after his ejection, he said, I need to do better. I need to be better. Excuse me. Yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Please tell your friends about these videos. Please subscribe. Please check out the social media link in the description section. At Phillies Hot Stove, Instagram, My Heart Fanatics, Instagram. Call or text 267-225-3392. Email me, phillieshotstove@gmail.com. Good one on the mound today, man. Aaron Nola. 4-2 with a 2.45 ERA going against Jacob deGrom of the Mets. 2-1 with a 1.76 ERA. We got a 110 start today. This is going to be a fun one to watch, man. We got two horses going against each other, Nola and deGrom. It's going to be fun to watch, man. Nola v. deGrom. Mets versus Phillies, 110 the first pitch. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm Luke, and I will talk to y'all later. Disappointing performance out of the Phillies last night, but let's hope they could go out there this afternoon and redeem themselves. I will talk to y'all later. Let's go Phillies. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Phillies updates will be joining the VCast after today's game. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.